Hi. Why am I so bad at starting these videos? One day, I will be able to start one of these things without having to redo it about 3 or 4 times and actually be happy with what I've done. Okay, welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is Cat v Stitches. This is the channel about cross-stitching and sometimes a little bit of knitting. Welcome! For any of my repeat viewers or my subscribers, you will be used to this. You will be used to how messy the start of these videos are. For any newbies, please do stay and watch. And I really do hope you enjoy what you see. And if you do, please do give me a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing or leaving a comment. They're all appreciated. Okay, so 31st of December, the end of the year. The end of not quite a full year of me of stitching, because I started, well, sorry, no, it is a full year of stitching, but not quite a full year of Flosstube. I started on the 1st of April, but I thought now is probably the best time to do a WIP parade, you know, a good old end of year WIP parade. Everybody loves a WIP parade. So I figured, why not? And also it's been fun for me as well, because I dug out all the pictures of my WIPs from the 1st of April. So for a lot of them it's been fun to track the progress that I've made on them, or to track how many of them I have actually finished. But yeah, so this is going to be a WIP parade, but I'm also going to show my finishes, and I'm also going to go over my plans for 2022. So I hope you have all had a nice holiday period for whatever holiday it is you celebrate, or if you're not celebrating anything or you haven't celebrated anything, well, I hope you've had a nice 2 weeks. But I think for the vast majority of us, we all do recognise that it is now the end of the year, the end of another trying year, shall we say. There have been a lot of changes in my life this year, some good, some not brilliant, but you know, I'm here, and through it all, stitching has been an amazing coping mechanism for me, and also something that I have really enjoyed. So this, I think it's even my, it's my 12th Flosstube now. I've done a couple of specials as well, so if you're wanting, you know, to know in more detail everything that I've been through for the past however months it is, then please do feel free to watch some of my older videos, but I'm not going to go into all that here. All I'm going to say here is that I had a nice Christmas at my parents'. It was nice and relaxing. For once, my parents didn't have a nice long list of jobs for me to do, and I just, you know, meal prep and was my mum's, you know, she just bossed me about in the kitchen and I did whatever she told me to do, all the washing up and all of that kind of stuff. But you know, it was nice and relaxing, and I got to stay over there, which I really enjoyed, and came back to one of my cats peeing in the carpet. Obviously was not happy about being left for 2 nights, even though they had plenty of food, plenty of water, lots of fresh cat litter. They were still unhappy about it. Although, to be honest, the last time that particular cat was annoyed, she actually peed on my bed, so I should just be thankful she didn't do that. And also, another extra thing for my cats is that they've all decided, well, one of them got fleas, and the problem is when you have 5 cats, once one has fleas, they will all get fleas. So yesterday I had to shell out a lot of money on flea treatment, and then capture the little buggers to actually give them the flea treatment. Cats are smart to these things, and when they see one cat being treated, that's it then. They scarper. So I had to spend nearly 2 hours capturing the cats and then putting the flea treatment on. So, you know, this was not a happy household yesterday afternoon. But enough about that. I'm not going to do any more kind of like live update stuff in this video, because there's quite a bit to cram in and I don't want us to be here for hours on end. As I said, I am going to do finishes, WIPs, and my plans for next year. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. Yes, some stats. Let me give you some stats. When I started this on the 1st of April, I had, sorry, I've got my computer here just in case you're wondering why I'm staring off in some weird direction. I had 16 WIPs in total. So these are all ones that were started before the 1st of April. And of those 16, 9 are finished. There's one UFO, so that's a unfinished object, something that we're not going to pick up again. So there's one of them. There is one that I'm going to be restarting. There's 5 that are still ongoing, and that gives us the 16. And then we have all of those patterns that I started after the 1st of April, and there have been 25 in total. So of them, 11 have been finished, 1 UFO, 2 have been archived, and I'll explain that as I come to them. No restarts, and there are 11 live. So in total I have 16 live WIPs, works in progress. So, excuse me. Now this is, full disclosure, this is an alcoholic beverage. Now it's not incredibly alcoholic. It's a bit of gin, as in a bit of gin, and a lot of pink lemonade. So it's probably the first alcoholic beverage I've had in about 6 months. And it's probably the only one I'm going to have, but I just thought I'd treat myself and have a little bit of alcohol. Oh, it is 5:30 here at the moment in the UK, so I'm sure there's a lot of Australia and all that have all celebrated their New Year, so Happy New Year. And by the time this goes up, I'm sure quite a few of us will have as well, so Happy New Year to everyone. Here's hoping that the next one is better than the previous 2. But I'm not going to jinx it, and I'm just going to say maybe just a little bit better would be nice. A little bit consistent and things start to improve a bit. Let's not, ask for the stars here. Because I remember the beginning of last year, I was like, yeah, this is going to be such a good year. And no, that didn't happen. So I obviously jinxed it. So this time I'm just going to say maybe a little bit better would be nice, please. Okay, so yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Well, let's get started. So, onto my spreadsheet, because of course it's a spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm going to go through some finishes first of all in the order that I finished them. So these will be my, let's get my first one. So the first one is the Little Stitcher Banshee Cry. So this I have finished in my journal, and let me just take them out before they fall out. Okay, so this is Banshee Cry. So this is on 28 counts. This is just a Basics Zygarde that I tea dyed. Not coffee because I can't stand the smell of it. This was just a tea dye, and there's a toile in that dress. So that is my first finished. I started that in March 2021 and finished that on the 14th of April. Okay, the next one is October, which is there. So that is October Cricket Collection, which I think I started in February. Prior to April, I wasn't brilliant at tracking the date I started things, but I'm sorry, I've got a hair in my eye. But I think I started that on or around February 2021, but I know I finished it on the 26th of April. Okay, so next one was Happinest from Satsuma Street. And I made a cushion of this, which is upstairs. So what I will do is insert a picture here of it, because I'm not going to run upstairs and grab it because I've started this too many times. So I'll insert a picture of it. So this is Happinest from Satsuma Street, which I started on the 19th of March 2021 and finished on the 1st of June 2021. And that's a 28 counts Zygarde, and I think it was just cream, something along those lines. one of the very natural ones. I really enjoy doing that, and although it's not in my plans here, I am actually going to be doing another one in, I think it's called Forest, that I'm going to make into a slightly longer pillow as well. But anyway, yeah, so that was Happinest. Okay, next was, okay, I'm just going to move the camera 1 second. Sorry, there we go. So next was this one here, which was Ink Circles Get Kraken, and I absolutely love that one. Started that one on the 16th of March 2021 and finished that on the 6th of June 2021. Now, if you want to see these in better detail, you can just go through some of my earlier Flosstubes, and they should be on there for you to see in detail. Okay, so that was Get Kraken. Next is Curse of the Raven, which is Carriage House sampling, and I started this one. This again is in my okay, Curse of the Raven. Again, this is, I think this is either raw or natural 28 counts wire guard. So as you can see, when I first started, I basically did everything on 28 count, not really computing the fact that this would mean that everything was massive. Yeah, slowly I started to realise there were other counts. But yeah, again, this is 28 count. This, oh, sorry, by the way, that was on 28 count platinum wire guard. So that was my Get Kraken, which I love. So this was on 28 count raw. Started 15th of March 2021, finished on the 12th of June 2021. Okay, so next, Trick or Treat. And I forgot, yeah, I've forgotten this pillow as well. That did used to rest down there, but it doesn't anymore, and I've forgotten it. So again, I'm going to insert a picture of this here. Love this. This is my first drawn thread. Now this was meant to be done in dinky dyes, but at that point I wasn't really using silk. So Rachel Ray was doing this pattern, and she had a conversion to I think it was 2 weeks. So I asked her if I could have that conversion, which she very kindly emailed me, and that's what I've used for this, and I just think it looks gorgeous, and that really started my love for the drawn thread. I've got a couple of the Halloween-y type patterns from the drawn thread that I'm going to start later on in the year, but yeah, but that I do love, and I really like how that came out, because I think Happinest was my first cushion that I did, and then I did this one soon after, and I used actually tutorials by Fat Quarter Shop for this. Kimberly at the Fat Quarter Shop did 2 different tutorials, and I for envelope pillows, much easier to do than ones with zippers in, because I'm not quite brave enough to do zipper things yet. It's not just on cushions but for project bags as well. I've not quite got to doing zippers yet. Maybe later on in the year, but for now, those are the kind of cushions I do. But that Trick or Treat, surprise surprise, was 28 count wire guard, and that was raw using the Rachel Ray Weeks dye work conversion. Okay, so next was a biggie. This was Halloween Quaker by Lila's Studio. That is on a 28 count, of course, 28 count own. I dyed that myself, and that was just an even weave, a cream even weave that I did that. Some of it are the called for, but then I just went crazy and started doing whatever colour I liked. So for example, all this blue here is using Mrs. Sadas Peacock, but I love that, and I did that. Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, she was doing that on her Zoom, and I just got started and just absolutely loved the pattern. So that's Lila's Studio Halloween Quaker. And then we've got my biggie, my even biggie, which is my Pilgrim long dog. Oh, sorry, before we get on to that, Halloween Quaker started, I think, January 2021. I can't quite remember. It's whenever Michelle started the Zooms. Sorry, can't remember, but I know I did finish 6th of July 2021. Okay, so Pilgrim. Let me move that out of the way, actually. Pilgrim by Long Dog. Started it in November. Not 2021. November, because I've actually put November 2021 as the start date. Started that November 2020. That is on the same material I used for this, so just a cream even weave, 28 count. But actually I'm glad I did it 28 count now because I love the size of it. And that is using Mrs. Sadas silk in the colourway Peacock. And I vastly overestimated how much I'd needed and bought 2 hanks, and it turned out I needed 1, but I'm sure I will find another one very soon to use it on because I absolutely adore that. So I finished that as a wall hanging. It's not perfect, but I don't care. I love it. It doesn't live there because we're right next to the kitchen there, but I just bring it out when I'm doing Flosstubes because I like to show it off. So yes, so that's Long Dog, and as I said, or did I can't remember, but I started that I think in November 2020 and finished the 29th of July. Okay, so next is a very recent finish, but I think this is the last of the finishes for my original pattern. So these are the patterns that started before April. So this is All Souls Vierlanden. This is Quiltify Designs, and I started this on the 23rd of March, so it was literally just before my very first Flosstube, and I finished it on the 19th of December. That is so nice. I don't actually like the taste of alcohol, so I can't stand wine, can't stand champagne, can't stand spirits or beer or ciders or anything like that. In fact, I've got a really expensive bottle of champagne over there that I've had for about 3 years. I keep forgetting to give to my best friend. I've got a bottle of wine that was given at Christmas, and oh, thank you. Can't stand the taste of it. But there are some things that I do like. One of them is vodka and Red Bull, because you can't taste the vodka, you can only taste the Red Bull, but I can no longer have that because I'm not allowed to drink Red Bull. It gives me heart palpitations, let's just put it that way. Anything with that much caffeine in is not good for me. And vodka is no longer kind to me. If I drink vodka, even if I only have 1 or 2, the next day I am death warmed up. In fact, I am worse than death warmed up. But the only other thing I like is this, like I said, it's gin, rhubarb and ginger gin. Can't stand normal gin. With either lemonade or pink lemonade, and it is just so nice. But again, I can't have a lot of it, and I can't have it often because my body just does not like alcohol anymore. So yeah, I've never really drank that much. I can go like years without having anything. Maybe that's the problem. My body gets used to not having to deal with alcohol, and then when I even just have a little bit, it's like, what are you doing to us? I should be safe with that though, because it was only a tiny little bit. Oh, sorry, just had my hair cut, so yeah. It'll never look this good again now until I go back to the hairdresser, so I just thought I'd show it off while I was here. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with this. So, All Souls Vierlanden. I've just accidentally deleted it off there. All Souls Vierlanden started 23rd of March 2021. So yeah, so this year finished 19th of December 2021. Now I restarted this one because my plan was I wanted to use Mrs. Sadas silk again because, you know, I had tons of it. And I pretty much realised at an early point that I was going to have a load of it left. I started it on something that I dyed myself, and to be honest, I think it was again, when I bought the fabric for this, there we go. Okay, what the hell am I doing? When I bought the fabric for this, I bought a ton of it because, you know, I thought 28 count, you know, this is the only thing I'll ever stitch on. So it did it for that, it did it for that, and there was enough left to do it for All Souls Vierlanden. So I thought, oh, I'll dye it myself a really deep purple. But this isn't even weave, and it's not a pure linen, so it doesn't, or an Ada, so it doesn't take, I think it's a Lugano or whatever it is, but it's one of the ones that's not, you know, that doesn't take the dye as well, or you've got to expect it to do different things. So the purple that it came out on, I was just never happy about. And Mrs. Sada's silk is gorgeous no matter what, but even though I did one of the motifs, as I kept going, I was like, I'm not going to be able to get over this. You know, every new stitch that's going in, I'm like, no. So I made the choice to restart it, and then I eventually found the fabric that was in my mind, and that was Sea Witch by Chromatic Alchemy. It's another 28 count because I hadn't quite yet got out of using 28 count for everything. But to be honest, again, I am really glad because I am loving this. I've done it as another wall hanging, just done it in a slightly different way to this. And so, there you go. You just bring that up. So there we go. Now there are several, should we say, customisations in here where I've not got the counting quite right, but I'm not going to tell you where, and I don't think you can tell. But there you have it. All Souls Vierlanden on Chromatic Alchemy Sea Witch using Mrs. Sada's Peacock 2/2. Absolutely love it. I truly do. And there is a lot of stitch. I thought these letters weren't going to take me that long. I can tell you now they did, because that's not a letter, that's a skull. That's a letter. I can tell you now that they took forever because there are a lot of stitches in there. And I was hoping I wasn't going to be optimistic by putting 2021 there, but in the end it turned out right. So there we go. So there's that finished. That normally goes up there, but I wanted to show it off. Okay, so I think that is the last of the finishes from my pieces that were started prior to April. So moving on. My UFO is Halloween Ouija by Tiny Modernist. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the pattern, and to be honest, there may be a point where I do start it again. It's just this is another one where I chose 14 count, and even though I've done a ton on it, I chose 14 count Ada, and it just does not look good. So yes, I did a ton of stitching on it, but I don't want to do any more on it. Maybe in a year or so's time I might restart it, because I've seen other people who have finished it and it looks really, really good. But and again, like I said, I do love the pattern. I just don't love how mine looks. So that one, I've said goodbye to it. That has been UFO'd. Goodbye, farewell. Okay, so next we have Flutter, which is my Heaven and Earth design, artist Marjorie Sarnat. So, right, yes, we're in order here. This I started, I think, in February 2021. Here we go. Now, this is the first of the things that are on my WIP Go. So I think most people know what this is. It's instead of bingo, it's WIP Go. So you have a board with 25 5x5 grid, 25 spots on. One of those is a free one. And what you do is you put a target or a aim, a goal or whatever in each one of the remaining 24 grids, And then every month, Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie does stuff. This is her baby, her brainchild. She will call 2 numbers and you do that in the month. So what I have basically done is for all of the ones that are on my WIP Go, I have said that for each one, when they get called, I'm going to do 5 days on it, or well, 5 sessions. A session could be half an hour, a session could be 2 hours, it could be a marathon full day of stitching or whatever, but I will do 5 sessions for each one. So Flutter is the first of the patterns I'm showing that's on there, and I think, I have a look, I think Flutter is on there once, because there's another Haid that I want to concentrate on a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert in a picture of what this looked like in April when I started. Okay, so I'm just going to say when I started the year, because I'll forget, and instead of saying I started in what it looked like in April, I say what it looked like at the start of the year. But just so we have an understanding, I mean what it looked like in April. So this is what it currently looks like. Now I've not really stitched on this recently, so that's why there's not going to be a comparison against last month or whatever. But that's what it was like at the beginning, and this is what it is like now. So as you can see, I've done a lot more of that black, the eye, filled in a lot of the gaps, and there we go. So this is on Pattern Keeper, and I am doing this cross country as opposed to using the parking method. And this is on 25 count. I think it's Easy Guide. Is it Easy Guide? I think it's Easy Count. It's the Zweigart one that's got the 10 by 10 blocks. But there we go. And if you hear, have I got this the right way around? I do, yeah. If you hear fireworks outside, I do apologise. So I'm doing this full cross 1/1. So there we go. So this, as I said, was started in February 2021, and this appears on my WIP Go board once. I'm sorry for any noises of crinkling. And this is in a bag that I made myself using the oh my god, that lines up perfectly. That was a happy accident, by the way. I did not do that on purpose. I am not that clever. This is using a tutorial by Varna the Twisted Stitcher, and it's her envelope project bag. Okay, so next up we have Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, Carriage House sampler, and this was started in February. This is, I did not make this bag. Not a chance in hell I could make a bag this well. This is from a seller on Etsy here in the UK called, this is all one word, Not Enough WIP Bags. I've put that in the description box, and I've just put a little tag on so I know what's in here, and it is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And this again, I've not touched this since I stitched on it in October, but hang on a minute, you know what I've forgotten to do? This is what Flutter is going to look like when it's complete. As I said, it's a Heaven and Earth design, and it's Marjorie Sarnat is the artist. I have a couple of these ones because I have some of her some little card size arts, postcard size art things from her. So yeah, so when I saw these in Heaven and Earth design, I just knew I had to buy them. Okay, so that is, God, there we go. So Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Pretty sure everybody knows what this looks like. Oh, crinkle, crinkle. My apologies, my apologies. Yeah, oh, and nothing is ironed because life's too short. So sorry. Not sorry. There you go. Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, and I am working on the centre one at the moment. So This is on 16 count Ada. This is Rustico. And so I kind of moved on from using 14 count, 28 count. I'm not restarting this because I do actually really like this. But there we go. So that is what I've done on there. I'm kind of using a mix of things here. So there's a toile, mainly DMC, a tiny little bit of needle MPI, which is what it's called for. But no, really like that. So there we go. Let me just quickly fold it up. This is on my WIP Go board and this appears twice. So what I've done is pretty much all my old ones from pre-April appear on my WIP Go board, and some of them appear on there twice. So that was Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. Yep. Oh, okay, so what I would have done at some point in there is inserted in a picture of what it looked like in April. If I forget to say it, I will automatically insert in the picture of what it looked like in April, and if I'm doing a comparison between maybe I showed it a couple of weeks ago, just to show you recent progress on it, I'll automatically insert those pictures in. It's been a while since I've done a proper one like this, so I'm kind of a little bit all over the shop. And I've not drunk that much alcohol, this is just the natural me. Okay, so Big Red Ship of Life from Ink Circles is the next one. Again, so all of my project bags, bar one, are either ones I've made myself or from Not Enough WIP bags. This is another one, so this is for slightly bigger projects. Now this is one that is again on 28 count. It's on 28 count platinum. I really do wish that I'd done it on maybe a 32, but it doesn't matter. I still love it. And I'm certainly not going to be restarting this. Again, it'll just be made into a wall hanging. But that's what it will look like. I'm using silk from Silks for You for this. It is PR034, and then in the boundary, in the do you know what? Words gone. In the border, Marjorie Sarnat art prints. That's what I was trying to say before. I've got some Marjorie Sarnat card size, as in greeting card size art prints for various of her cat portraits. I couldn't think of the word print. There we go. So for the border, I am using this DMC variation one. Okay, so this is what I have done so far on here. There you go. I think this will make a gorgeous wall hanging when this is done, but I will do it in the style that I've done this one. I will tuck over the top and then just stick a pole through like that. I might possibly do a neater job than I did on this, but this is the first time I've done one like this. But anyway, yes, so I'll put in what it looked like. I'll put in what it looked like on the 1st of April. But again, I've not touched this one for a while, so there won't be a later progression one. But yeah, there we go. Big Red Ship of Life. And do I regret not getting one of the smaller ones? No. Because there's 3 versions of this pattern. There's like a small one and a medium red ship of life. But no, I do like this big one. This appears on my WIP Go board. Let me see, how many times is this on? Red Ship is on twice. So, but really what I'm wanting to make sure is that all of these are touched this year. because there's a couple of pieces I want to focus on, but I want to make sure that these older ones get some good progression, and that's why by putting them on the WIP Go board like this will make sure this has at least 10 days or 10 sessions worth of progression. Okay, put this away. Okay, so next we have, where are we? We're here. We have Mary Lindy stitches. Now I've struggled with this one. A, because I did it on 28 count, and B, because of that skirt. I love this pattern. It's one of, I started this on the 25th of March, and I actually bought it quite a bit before then. And I've actually bought the call for, there's a lot of Weeks dye works in that, and this skirt is just a gorgeous colour. But when you're doing it on 28 count, that's a lot of stitching. So, again, I'll pop up what it was like in April. And this is what it's like now. So not a ton of progression, but what I was thinking of maybe doing is, I think the reason why there's not enough progression is, in order to get maximum variegation, I'm doing full crosses across on this skirt. So this is the thread. It is Seafoam. It's Seafoam by Weeks Dye Works, and it's got gorgeous variegation in. Can you see that all right? Yeah, there we go. So in order to make the most of that variegation, I have been doing full crosses side to side, and I don't normally stitch that way now. I tend to do it up and down and one leg on one leg, you know. So this is pretty slow going, but I am going to persevere because I do really like this pattern. So I'm considering bringing back 25/7, because, so let me explain. 25/7, sorry, one sec. 25/7 is when you stitch on a piece every day, either 25 stitch, well, there's different variants on it, but the one I'm following is it's either 25 stitches or 25 minutes. So I do 25 minutes, and it worked really well on Halloween Quaker and on All Souls Vierlanden. I did it for quite a few days for both of them, and did actually progress quite a lot. Ended up failing a lot of times, as in carrying on stitching, but that's, you know, that's still a win really. But I'm thinking of maybe doing that on here so I can try and break the back of that skirt, and then the rest of it I think shouldn't be as bad. But this is on my WIP Go board, and this is on there just once for this, because I was planning on potentially doing this as my 25/7. But yes, so that's Lindy Stitches, Mary Needleworker. Okay, so that I started, that is on 28 count odds. 28 count Zweigart, just a plain Zweigart, and it is pink. Okay, so yeah, started that 25th of March, and I've not worked on it since 26th of June. That is very bad. Okay, next one is another biggie. Oh, sorry, got a notification there. This is Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain by Kathy Barrick. So, how lovely is that bag? Okay, Autumn on Lazy Bear. So, there we go. I've started over, nope, I've started over here. So this is, so it calls for NPIs, needlepoint silk, sorry, not NPI, needlepoint silk, and I am using mainly DMC, but on certain things like the houses I'm using needlepoint. Now this shares some of the same needle points as Halloween at Hawkwood Hollow, so I'm kind of doing double duty on both. But anywho, this is another one that I touched in October, but I've not made any progression since then, so I'm not gonna. I'll put in a picture of what it looked like at the start of the year. And this is what it looks like now. This goes across a little bit more, but the bulk of it is here. There we go. I've finished the house, done the majority of that fence down there, and I have done the deer. Now this is my first time using 40 count, and I really enjoy it. So obviously it's 1 strand over 2. All my 28 counts, by the way, so basically everything else I've shown you is 2 over 2. So that's 2 threads over 2 things on here. Oh my god. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. This is linen, so yeah. But this is 1 over 2. There we go. Love it. And this is Vintage Country Mocha by Swigart. That one was started on the 28th. I've got such an itchy nose. I think it's because I've just had my hair cut and, you know, bits of hair going everywhere. Right. Okay. So we're coming on to the last of my original stitch pieces. So this is the last of the ones that were already being worked on in April, and that is my one restart, and this is the Blue Flower Night Walk Down. Absolutely love this pattern. Absolutely love it. I really, really do. I think it's glorious. However, I started this on 28 count, and right from the off I miscounted. This is on platinum, so I will I do still use 28 count on things, so I will reuse this. I started that, but I just don't like it. I don't like it on the 28 count. I miscounted. Yeah. I'm annoyed that I kept going for so long, even though I knew I didn't like it. At least on All Souls Vierlanden I had the brains to just stop it, but on this I just kept going. So that's like thread wasted. But I'm going to be much happier restarting this. So this will get used on smalls or whatever. So I do still use 28 count, but I am restarting this on a 40 count, and this is what's it called? It's a Picture This Plus. I think it's called Truffle. There we go. I'm much happier with that. Now that's blowing that out. That is not brown, it's pink. So let's see, can I get that to go pink at any point? Nope, it's not going to go pink, is it? How strange. Trust me, this is pink, not brown. That is so bizarre that it does that. I don't know if it's back here. No, it's not going to do it. Trust me, there are elements of brown in it, but there's also a lot of pink in it, and that's what's not showing. So that is what I'm going to start this on, and this appears on my WIP Go board. Yeah, so this appears on my WIP Go board. So I have still have all the threads there. So yeah, that is Night Walk Down. That is my one planned restart. I'm happy with that decision. I am at peace with it because it's a beautiful pattern, and I have another blue flower one I want to do when I finish this one. And that is the end of all the OGs, all of my originals. So now we're moving on to, oh my god, this is driving me insane. Sorry. Got something stuck right in my eye there. Okay, so let's have a look. That's Night Walk Down. I won't bother inserting in any kind of picture ofs. Now for all of these now, I'm not, I don't even think I need to say this, but I will. I'm not going to be inserting a picture in from the start of the year because these all started after April, and I will only insert in a picture if it's something I've worked on and shown recently, so you can see the progression from the last time I showed it. And the first one, which I am going to insert a picture with, is Amethyst. Okay, so I have this the long way around. Oh, joy. Excuse me 1 second while I have to reorganise everything that I thought I'd organised all nicely. Here we go. So, Amethyst. My Laurel Birch fabric that I absolutely love. It's the blue on the outside and the red one on the inside. This is again one I made. So this is Carolyn Manning Amethyst. So I will insert in a picture of what this is supposed to. In fact, no, I'm not going to insert in that picture. I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like. Hang on, I can put this away because it's in my way. Don't fall over. There was nearly an avalanche. Okay. Let me find this for you. So not fully prepared. Nope. Why are you there? What is going on? Yeah, just talk amongst yourselves or carry on stitching, whatever. Here we go. Amethyst. Okay, so that is what it will look like. This is Carolyn Manning Amethyst. So I have this on Pattern Keeper and I have just hit 50%. I'm almost at 51% now, I think. There we go. Where's the top? Where's the top? There's the top. There we go. Amethyst. Love it. We have it. So this is on 14 count Ada. In the colourway Lavender, and I plan to make a cushion out of this when it is done. Give it a good wash first and then make a cushion out of it. Yep. So that is Amethyst. Now I started this on the 11th of April, so literally just a week or so after I did my first Flosstube. In fact, I thought I had started this prior and I had to go back and rewatch that first video, which was, well, fast forward through it, which it was very painful fast forwarding through it, and then I realised I was actually only discussing starting it in that first video. So a bit of history for you there. But that is my Carolyn Manning and the start of my love affair with Carolyn Manning, because I now have several of her patterns because I just love them. Right. So that was started the 11th of April, 14 count Ada Lavender, and I'll have put in pictures, blah blah blah. We'll be back to Carolyn Manning in a little bit. The next one is one that I have finished, and this is the Garden Gate drawn thread, which I started on the 12th of May 2021, Arlin. This is actually a FFO, a fully finished object, but I don't have it because it was a gift for my mother. So what I will do is insert in a picture here of what that looked like fully finished. I just framed that and got it off to her, and that was done on 32 count pearl Swigart. Started the 12th of May 2021, finished the 11th of June 2021. Loved it. It's got lots of specialty stitches in. Really enjoyed doing it because the instructions that the drawn thread give with all of their patterns are super clear, and it was my first time doing any of them, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the picture, but there are things like little bees and butterflies and dragonflies on there that just, when they're done and you look at them, they just blow your mind that someone can design them on there. And you know, with the use of specialty stitches, they just look so nice. And every time I go to my mum's house, I'm like, oh look, I did that. But anyway, yes, that is the Garden Gate, the drawn thread. Okay, next is a Good Morning Maui pattern. So I did need this after all because there is another one. I finished this as my front on this. So for any murderinas out there, you'll know what this is. Stay sexy, don't get murdered. I love this podcast. It's I'm actually a little bit sorry because when I first found it, I had the joy of being able to listen to over 100 of the podcasts, and then when I actually got through to the end of them, I was really, really sad because they were so good. And so now I have to wait each week for the new ones, and it's literally murder, but they are so good. But there we go. So there's Karen and Georgia and Elvis, who sadly passed away. But anyway, yeah, stay sexy, don't get murdered, from Good Morning Maui. And I love doing these. I've done a couple now from Good Morning Maui, and they make just such excellent travel pieces. But there we go. So that one that was a quick stitch, literally. I started that on the 18th of June 2021 and finished it on the 22nd of June 2021, and that's 14 count Ada and just grey. Okay, next one. My next cricket collection. I love cricket collection. Anyone who has watched me before will know that. For any newbies, I just love them. I'm currently working through a couple of the months and the seasons, but this particular cricket collection one, which I started on the 10th of July, is Sleepy Hollow. Oh, that's not. See, now I've got them all out of order. This is highly annoying. Okay. Here we go. So, Sleepy Hollow is this one. So I am doing this as mine's going to be, oh God, sorry, let me just move that down a little bit. Mine's going to be done like this as a 3-fold. Now I know how to do flat folds, this does not hold any mystery to me. More on that in a little bit. But I'm currently working on this middle panel. This had some movement in October, but there's been no progression since then. Here we go. This is using the Cull for, apart from I'm using Anchor Black instead of DMC, and this is on some material that I dyed myself using blue RIT dye. And there we go. So this again is appearing on my WIP Go board, and that is on there once. And even if it's not in October as well, I'll work on it. You know, if it's called in a different month, I'll work on it then, but I'll also work on it in October. Okay, so that is on a 14 count. That was just 14 count platinum, 28 count platinum. And as I said, I dyed that myself using RIT dye. Okay, so that is Sleepy Hollow Cricket Collection. I started that the 10th of July. The next one is a finish, and this is Prairie Moon, Merry Christmas, which is, oh, I have a frozen shoulder, that fucking hurt, pardon my French. So that's that one there. So that's Prairie Moon, Merry Xmas, love it. And that's really quick stitch, to be honest, and that's using, because I knew I wanted to do a couple of these from Prairie Moon, I bought the silks, because the silks pretty much for one are in others, so I just got the silks for it, and it makes a difference on that because it just looks so nice and the reds are gorgeous. But that, like I said, started 15th of July 2021, finished 30th of August 2021, and it's done using 28 count Picture This Plus Haunted, and I have a couple of the patterns from the same series, and it's all using the same fabric and size. So yeah, next is this one here, Cricket Collection August. This is another one that I absolutely love. In fact, I'm going to, bear with me 1 second, I'm going to get this one down because it's actually one of my favourites. Here we go. This is why I love these so much. I think this one is one of the best ones. I mean, I love October, don't get me wrong. I think it's brilliant. October is done using a mix of a toile and the call for, but August just blew my mind. That lighthouse, the sailboat, is it a crab or a lobster? Oh, I know it's a lobster, isn't it? And those seagulls. The seagulls just get me every time. Yeah, so that's August Cricket Collection. Apart from the fact that I love it, August is my birth month, so that's why I did that. And that one, August, I started that on the 30th of July and really pushed that one to get it finished before the end of August, and I finished that on, nope, so yeah, I started it, 30th of July and finished it on the 27th of August, and that's on 28 count Zweigart Smoky Pearl. So all of those are done on 28 count just so they can all be a similar size. So that's August. Okay, the next one is a gift, so I'm going to insert a picture of this, and this is Captains by Happy Sloth, and this went to my friend. Oh my god, this was a nightmare one. The pattern, the ships are in a slightly different order. On the pattern, they're in an order that the TV series were created. So, for example, the original one is first, and then Next Generation, blah blah blah. Whereas I did it in chronological order, as in their timeline in the universe. So I switched that around, as you can see. So I did this for my friend, and then as I was finishing it, I realised that there was a stain on the front of it that would not come off, and I tried everything. I tried washing the thing, I tried everything to get this damn thing off, and it wouldn't budge. So in the end I had to put that little ribbon on, but my friend says she loves it with the ribbon on, and if I hadn't have told her, she thought it was part of the piece. So I was like, well, I should have kept my bloody mouth shut then, shouldn't I? But it was for her and her husband, who are two of my closest friends. They recently, over the year, have basically watched all the Star Treks from the original all the way through to the new Discovery ones that are on. I've not done the Discovery ones, but I've done all the others, so I've always loved Star Trek as well, but I just thought that'd be a nice... It was really weird how it came about that. We were just, I'd gone around to see them, and Joel was just talking about how we'd like to get some kind of art print of all the ships, and I was just Googling away while he was saying it, and I saw that cross-stitch pattern and I was like, right, I'll do that for them, and that can be kind of like a Christmas present for them. So yeah. Again, that was on, and that was an easy stitch actually. So that was like a travel pattern, like my Good Morning Maui ones, because that was on 14 count, just white Ada. That's all it needed, a good white Ada. Although that did then mean that it really showed up that stain, but the end product was actually rather good. I was quite happy with that. So that one I started 1st of August 2021, ended the 15th of October 2021. There was a surprisingly large amount of stitches in each of those ships, so that one took a while to do. Okay, so next we're up to my one and only stitch along. This is the cryptid stitch along with the witchy stitcher, and for this I am going to insert in a picture of what it looked like last time you saw it. I'll insert that in a second. Let me actually find it. Right, okay, so which is the right way around on this? Oh, nope, that's not it. So this was in order. There we go. So another of the bags I've bought. So I thought I did have everything in order. Obviously everything has gone to pot. I don't have a picture of what this will look at the end because it's a mystery stitch along. But I'm up to date with all the drops she's done, and I don't think there's another one until, I think it might be next week. It might be, it's either Friday coming or the Friday after, but I am up to date on it, and there we go. So as I said, I've either inserted or I will insert a picture of what it was last time, but I am up to date on this. So for this, all the words, so the names and cryptid at the top is done in étoile, and I'm doing that 3/2, so 3 strands of étoile. All the other black is just regular DMC 2/2. But any embellishments, so for example, on the Mothman, the red in the wings and the body, and that I've done that in étoile. On the Jersey Devil and the eyes, anytime it's anything like that, I've used étoile. So I'm absolutely loving this. And this again, thankfully, I've had the foresight, another happy accident, to leave enough at the top there that I can do this as a wall hanging as well. Basically my house is going to be full of wall hangings. But you know, maybe after I've done it for another couple of times I'll actually be okay at them. But yeah, there we go. I love that Loch Ness one. Really cool. Can't wait to see what the other ones are. I can generally, because I'm sad and have no social life, they tend to drop in the UK at around 5:30, so I'm like ready and waiting the second it drops to start stitching on it. So if it's not finished that evening, it's finished the Saturday morning. I am that sad. But anywho, that is Cryptid by the Witchy Stitcher, and I started stitching on that on the 3rd of August 2021, and I am planning to keep up to date on that and to finish it when it drops. And I'll actually be quite sad because now this is sadness to the extreme, but the other week she sent out a message to everyone saying that, you know, excuse me, that people had voted that they just wanted a bit of time over Christmas to catch up on it, so she wouldn't be dropping as per her original schedule, and I was really devastated over it because I was like, oh, what am I going to do on my Friday evening now? But yeah, I got over it, but it was a tough thing. So yeah, there's that one. Next we have, okay, so this is the first of the patterns that I'm going to archive. And what I mean by that is that they are by no means a UFO, so they're not something I'm just giving up on and I'm not going to stitch on. It's just something that at this precise moment in time I'm going to put the brakes on stitching on it, because and saying that, nope, that was the only one, sorry, I just suddenly thought, should there be a third one that's an archive? Yes, there should be a third one that's an archive. Right, no, never mind. The vote is out on that one yet. The jury's out on it. I'm not quite decided on that. I'll discuss it when we come to it. But anyway, this is my Heaven and Earth one. Another of my Heaven and Earth ones, and this one is Deco. So it's another of the Marjorie Sarnat ones. And the reason that this is, okay, I'll have to show you what this looks like, because I've not printed off the actual I've not printed it off because it would use way too much ink. It depends what mood I'm in that day. Sometimes I'm like, to hell with it, I don't care that ink costs a bloody fortune, I'm going to print off this thing that it just uses up half the bloody ink in my thing, I don't care. And then other days I'm like, no Catherine, you're not going to print this off. Here's Deco. So I was obviously being sensible when I made this decision, but there we go, there's Deco. I love it to death, so it's definitely going to be stitched, but I'm only going to have 2 Hades on the go. That's the decision I have made. And I've got Flutter, and I've got another one that we're coming to in a minute, and that is a lie I've done on this one. What is it? That is my Tiny Meagre Start. So what I'm going to do is just pop this one on hold for now. Now this is on 28 count, easy count, and I'm doing this tent stitch. So after watching lots of different Flosstubes and other people who have who do Hades, I realised there was this, in fact, I think it was Michelle and Bendy Stitching, a discussion she was having, was saying about this thing called tent stitch, which you can do on the small accounts, and it looks absolutely fine. And I'm like, oh, what is this tent stitch you speak of? I need to do that. So I am doing that on this one. Deco is on 25 count, so I'm not doing tent stitch on that, because for me it's not enough coverage, but I think on the 28 count 1/1 you can get away with it. So yeah, so this one, as I said, is being archived. It's just going on hold. I'm not UFOing it, but yeah, so that's what's happening with this one. But I most definitely am going to be doing this because I absolutely love the colours in this one. Right, okay, so there's nearly an avalanche by the side of me here. Okay, and that one, Deco, I started that on the 12th of August, but I did a teeny tiny little bit of it. The next one is a finish, and this is another gift for my mum, and this is Those Who Sing. The funny story about these gifts for my mum is that when I was first saying, oh, let me stitch something for you, and I asked her to choose which one she wanted, she actually chose Those Who Sing, but I couldn't get it anywhere. So as her second choice, it was the Garden Gate. So I did the Garden Gate, and then I didn't remember it, and then one day my mum said, oh, did that one turn up, that Those Who, you know, that pattern I'd really wanted you to do? I'm like, no, but I did you that one, Mum. And she's like, no, I still want the other one. So I was like, oh, okay then, yeah, okay. So yeah, I did Those Who Sing, and I will put in a picture of what that looks like fully finished. Another drawn thread one, another amazing one with specialty stitches on it as well, using the silks. Looks glorious. This is another one I go to visit her, I'm like, yeah, I did that one, I'm happy with that. It just looks so nice. It really does. And again, they're not difficult stitches, brilliant instructions, and they don't take a ton of time, but you do have to concentrate when you're doing it. But I think the end result is just amazing. So that is Those Who Sing, which I started on the 2nd of September 2021, and I wanted to do this for my mum's birthday, which was the end of October, but I actually got it finished the 29th of September 2021. So I'll put a push on that one. Now that was done using 32 count khaki by Zweigard, which I think is the called for material, and because I completely forgot to say, Witchy Stitcher is done on 28 count Picture This Plus Valor, and I love that, and I've got that, I've got more of that Valor to use for other ones as well, because I really like the look of that Valor. Anyway, moving on to the next one, and this is another Cricut collection, and this is Skeleton Crew. I started this on the 2nd of October, and speaking of 28 count Picture This Plus Valor, Skeleton Crew also uses it. So I love this material. Again, this is one of the ones I made using the envelope tutorial, but I just added on this and a button, because I tried putting Velcro on one and it was just a mess. So I thought, sod it, I'm just going to go for it, and I'm just going to put a button on. And I found these buttons, and they just go really, really well. Okay, so this is what it should look like. There we go. And this is what it currently looks like. This is going to be a big piece. This is going to be another wall hanging. And I have basically done the scarecrow typey. Started on the scarecrow typey thing right in the centre. Yeah, I'm really good at holding these things up, aren't I? Hang on. There we go. It's a little bit better. There you go. So 28 count Valor, and this is why I really like this material. It just looks great. So the white shows up really well on it, and the colours show up really well on it. So yeah, I love that pumpkin face. So that is a skeleton. I can't say that word. I can never say that word. Hang on. Skeleton. I always want to put a G in it and say skeleton for some reason. But yeah. Again, this is on my WIP Go board. Deco isn't on my WIP Go board. Cryptid isn't on my WIP Go board because I'm just doing that as it drops. But Skeleton Crew is. What's that? Oh, hang on, sorry. This needs to go in there. That goes on. I think that's the last of my Cricut collection ones that are actually live WIPs at the moment, I think. Okay, so next one is another archive. Again, I am not UFOing it, I'm just putting it to one side for now because I absolutely love the pattern. But this will probably end up being one that I just stitch on in October. This is a Autumn Lane stitchery, whom I love. Their YouTubes are brilliant. I don't know if anybody has been watching their Flosstubes that they've been doing over Christmas. They are hilarious. I just love I just love the two of them. They're so cool. But yeah. So this is Current Mood. Now this is not on their website. This was in Just Cross Stitch, their Halloween 2021 edition. Happy, Afraid, Cat and Angry. So I have used some of the remainder of my Sea Witch Chromatic Alchemy, and I've started on the cat on that. I think it just looks so cool on this fabric. But yeah, So as I said, this is not a UFO, it's just I'm popping it to one side for now, so it's not necessarily an active WIP, but it is still one I am eventually going to work on. Okay, so that one I started on the 9th of October, and that's on the 28 count. Okay, the next is a finish, and this is Autumn. Hang on. Okay, I am going to go get this now, so bear with me because I do love this. I apologise, I'll be back in a sec. Sorry. Hello. I've also brought one of my finishes as well. Not Trick or Treat because that's upstairs and I'm not coming down and having a mass asthma attack on you. But let me do Autumn first of all. And this is almost as good as August. And this is Autumn. There we go. So this was done, the kind help of Mary from Create Nostalgia, who helped me with the threads, because they were all in DMC, but I wanted to use some variegation on them. So I went down to Create Nostalgia with the actual DMC threads, and well, I was going to say she helped me, but she basically, I just went, can you help me please? And she just took them and pulled out the right colours for me, so. And they work out perfectly. So yeah, there they are. Now the cat and the birds are done, and the wings and the bat there. Is that a bat? I think that's a bat. But anyway, that's done using sulky black 2 strands to make it really nice and thick. And then the hat is done with 3 strands of etoile. So I just absolutely love it. So that is Autumn. And then while I've got it here, I thought I'd just show you the Happinest finish that I did as a pillow. There we go. And I did that as an envelope pillow. Voila. So I'm going to do something similar, although it's going to be on a slightly bigger scale for my Carolyn Manning pieces. This has just got a bog standard cushion and I've not filled it. But yeah, so there we go, there's Happinest. Okay, so that was Autumn, which is on 28 count Amazing Grace. So this isn't Swigart, this is I think it's Witchell. Excuse me, the next one is another finish. This is another Good Morning Maui. Oh, that reminds me, I need to start another Good Morning Maui, so I've got another travel one. I have got a couple of them, so I'll have to get started on one. But this is Monsters. And this I started on the 23rd of October and finished on the 25th of November. And it is again on 14 count Ada grey. How cute are they? How absolutely, now this I may have shown at the end of November, and if I did I do apologise, but I'm going to show it again anyway because it's absolutely gorgeous cute. I just did an incredibly simple finish with this. I just literally glued it on this foam cord and put some black lace on it. If I'd have thought about it, I could have kind of like done it as individual ornaments, but I think they look so cool like this anyway. So look at that little Dracula. And the Wolfman. This is all the called for threads, it's just DMC. But there's no need to mess with the colours because they just look so cool. Okay, so that is Monsters, as I said, 23rd of October to the 25th of November. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so my other Heaven and Earth is I have it's in here, yeah. So I think I've explained this in previous videos, but basically I'd done those patterns for my mum, and then my dad was like, oh, can you know, do one for me? And I was like, well, I didn't really think you'd be interested in one. But he was like, well, what about some kind of landscape one? And I was like, well, there's a lot of stitching in landscape ones, full coverage ones, so why don't I do you a mini one, a mini Haid? And I showed him a couple, and he really liked this one. Now I can never, Leonid Afrimov, ugh, I can never pronounce it, so there you go. Oh, I'm on low battery. Okay, so bear with me 1 second, I can fix this. Hang on. Don't go anywhere, I promise you, I'll be back in a sec. Okay. Depending how I feel, I may or may not edit that out. I don't know yet. I'll just kick something. Anyway, sorry. I needed to charge my phone up there. Oh my god, I hope this hasn't caused issues. But anyway, yeah, so that is the one I'm doing it. So it's evening. It's a mini, so it's yeah, it's mini evening. I'm doing this on 28 count like deco, so I'm doing it 10th stitch. Put in a picture of what it looked like last time I showed you, because I have actually worked on this a little bit, and I've basically been filling in this orange and more and this colour here. But there you go. That is evening. It is going to take me a while to do it, but every now and then I'll take a picture and send it to my dad so he can see the progress of it. But yeah, so this is the one that takes priority. So Flutter I will do as it appears on my WIP Go board, which I'll come to in a minute. But this is actually one that I'm going to focus on this year, so I want to really get good progression on it. So it's on my WIP Go board twice, but I'm also going to work on this outside of that. So this will see some good progression every month as opposed to just the months it's in WIP Go. So there it is. So that's why Deco is currently being archived, because I only want to be working on the two at a time. So when I've finished this one, I'll then start on Deco. Okay, so there's that one. Oops. Now on to the next. So right, so this is my other Prairie Moon. This is Stitch Night at the Crypt Club, and which I started on the 29th of I started this on the, don't fall off, started this on the 29th of October, and it's not had any progression since I showed you in November, so I won't put in a before picture. Here we go, so that is what it will look like. No, it won't look like that, that's Martini Witches. That's the next one I'm going to do when I finish this. This is what it will look like, which is just a fun pattern. So again, this is on 28 count haunted, the same as Merry Xmas's, and this is what it looks like so far. Again, I'm just doing such a good job on this. There you go. Those boots I've changed slightly because I didn't get the silk that it was requested. I just used some purple silk I've got for one of my long dogs that's coming up in a minute, but that's what I've done so far. I want to work on this one because I want to get this one finished, because again, I find these to be quite easy stitches. But yeah, so that's Stitch Night at the Crit Club, which I started on the 29th of October. And this is in a Lovely More Studio bag. What are we on? Oh, bloody hell, this is going on for quite a while now. I'm hungry. Okay, the next one is a finish that I don't have here because this was the Christmas gift to my two nieces, my brother's daughter and my sister's daughter. It's Puntini's Dog Lover, and I will insert a picture of the finished items here. I'm sorry it's not a brilliant picture, but by the end of the night I was so that was the picture you got of it basically. I finished them as flat folds. I now know how to do flat folds as a result, but my god, that was a trauma doing them. I think if you want to see the process of doing them and what, you know, a much better picture of them, on my very first, when was it? I think in either my WIP, when did I do this? In one of my last full Flosstube, or it could be the first of the December Flossmas things I did. Oh, actually, let me tell you. Instead of sounding like an idiot, I'll tell you which one it's in because it's funny. It's basically you get to watch me having a breakdown as it happened, trying to do these bloody flat folds. Let's have a look, see. Videos. Right, yes, so it's my first Flossmas Vlogmas #1, and it's called And My Adventures in Flat Fold Land. So you can see on there, you'll see a proper picture of a better idea of what they look like finished, and also the pain and agony I went through to do them. But the end result of all of that is I can now do flat folds, and doing the flat fold for Cricket Collection Sleepy Hollow should not be a problem. So that was a finish on the, so started that on the 9th of November, did it twice, oh my god, so literally just stitched on nothing but that up until the 30th of November when I finally finished the 2 of them and then made them into the flat folds, and that is using 32 count vintage grey. Okay, so next one is another finish, and this is another Cricket Collection, and it is Winter. I think this is the last of, is that the last? Yeah, this is the, no, I have one more finish after this. There we go. Well, these are Puntini pins. I think these are the ones that I got in the Patchwork Rabbits Advent box. It's either that or I bought them from Create Nostalgia, but yeah, so this is Winter. Look at that sled there. So good. Really like this. So I've done autumn and winter now, so I've got spring and summer to do. I'm not going to start the spring one until maybe February, but I do love these. At least spring will be shorter by one letter, but at least it's shorter. But yeah, so there we go. So that's Winter. Yay, Winter. I wanted to get this finished before the end of the month, and I managed to get it done. Started it on the 16th of November and finished it on the 22nd of December. There you go. Let me just hang that back up. There. Right, okay, so next one is, this is a new Carolyn Manning Designs. This is Ruby by Carolyn Manning. Now, This one is the one I was humming and hawing about whether or not I'm going to archive this. I was so bloody desperate to start this one, but I don't know whether or not to wait until I have actually finished Amethyst before carrying on stitching on this, or just to carry on stitch on this. I have not yet decided. But let me get a picture of it. Oh, there it is. This is real life, this is, I'm telling you. What's really funny is that at work, I am not this disorganised. I am known for being organised and having my lists, having my spreadsheets. I've got spreadsheets to keep track of all my spreadsheets. I'm that, like, organised. But when it comes to home life, other than with the cats, when it comes to home life, I am all over the shop. It's quite amusing to my friends who know me in both work and outside work. They just can't get their heads around it, but yeah. Maybe it's because I have to be so organised at work. When I get home, I'm like rebelling. I wish I wasn't. I wish I could tell myself to stop it, but apparently I do. Okay, Carolyn Manning, Ruby. There we go. Lovely, 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 lovely. So I have a teeny tiny start on this. It's on Blush Ada 14 count from Zweigart. And literally, that's my start. So, yeah. So, not much to show on it, but at least I have put some stitches in it. I think I did this on a Stitch With Me. And then had to, while on the Stitch With Me, because I was too busy rabbiting away, had to frog it several occasions. Because I kept doing the triangles the wrong way around. I want to concentrate on getting, to be honest with you, I want to concentrate on getting Amethyst done. I know I was all about getting it to, first of all it was to 50, then it was to 40% done, then it was back to 50% done. But now I'm kind of like, yeah, but I'd like to get Amethyst done. Yeah, I don't know. I've not decided yet, but that is Ruby, which I started on the 30th of November. Okay, so next new start is a new long dog. So this is You Belong to Me. It's one of her latest patterns. It's in this one here. And this is being done on 32 count. And this is another one on Vintage Grey. So this is the same material I used on the Dog Lover Puntini. And I am doing this in DMC because I was going to be doing a different long dog start, and I bought silk for that, and then this kind of like came in under the radar. I had not planned on doing another one, so I was not going to buy another hank of silk, but I don't think it's needed because this just looks glorious. I am using, so there's the picture of what it will look like. So that's You Belong to Me, and I am using DMC 718, this stunning pink. I've got a start there. I'm going to need a lot more than that, but that's a start. And I have done so far there we go. So that's when I was testing which colours I wanted to do, because it was either going to be the royal blue or this pink, but this pink I just think looks amazing. So that is my start on this, and this is on my WIP Go board. I think this is on there once. Amethyst I've already said is on my WIP Go. I think Amethyst is on once, but it's on as any Carolyn Manning, so I don't necessarily have to do Amethyst. But this You Belong to Me is on twice. There we go. Okay, so I started that, I can't remember if I said, You Belong to Me, I started on the 5th of December, 32 count vintage grey. Okay, my next one is actually a start and a finish in December, and it's another cricket collection, so I lied, there is another cricket collection finish. And this is Frost, which I started on the 13th of December, finished on the 27th of December. It's on 28 count Zweigart blue-green, and I just couldn't resist that pumpkin face. So that's the Frost is on the pumpkin. Now this is not fully finished, but I just wanted to get it into a frame so I could put it up. So eventually I'll properly finish it, but oh, I just love it. So the Frost is on the pumpkin, and that pumpkin is just amazeballs. Now the hat, I used the wrong colour thread in here, but it's one of those other happy accidents. I just really like it. So there we go. And I think, yeah, this is definitely the last finish now. Okay, so that is cricket collection. So my next new start, which I started on the 28th of December, so this is a really new start. This is Plum Street. Nope. Oh, come on, where is it? Right, so this is Plum Street Buzz Off. I've had this pattern for a bit, and I finally got to start it, so I'm happy about that. I love Plum Street. I've got several patterns, but I've just for some reason not actually started them. So I am now basically going to make sure I've always got one, well, two, well, I'll come to in a minute. But yeah, so this is Buzz Off. I think this is a series of two, so Buzz Off and Eat Crow is the other one. Let me just show you that. So Eat Crow, which I just think is brilliant. And this is on 36 count R&R vintage beeswax. Now, 36 count, technically speaking, you should really do 1/1. But I don't see this as kind of like a primitive one where the coverage isn't really kind of like tight. So I'm actually doing this 2/2. I think this material is a bit looser anyway because it's over dyed, so I think it can take it. But for this crow, I think it just looks stunning 2/2. I just think that crow really pops. So that's using Weeks Dye Works mascara, and once I started, I couldn't stop because he was just looking so magnificent. So I just carried on going until I finished stitching it. But I'm going to be doing this and my this is Buzz Off. Eat Crow will also be on the same 36 count, and I think I'm going to do 2/2 on that as well because I just love the coverage I'm getting doing 2/2. Now that's not to say on all 36 count I will do 2/2, but it'll just be on a case by case basis, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, I could just leave that crow as it is. I just think that crow just looks brilliant. But I am going to do the rest of it because I love that, the beehive and those flowers. So yeah, and he needs his crown. So that's Eat Crow. Then I started, oh, that's come off. Let me just put this on here. Sorry, won't be 1 second. It's my label, so I know which one it is. So one problem when it's not a vinyl cover, you can't see what's in there. Right, so I've got another drawn thread one. This time it is for me. And this is Sunnyside Sampler. There we go. Basically using the same silks as was in the other two ones I've already done. So there was maybe two I had to buy, 2 or 3 I needed to buy. So, you know, yeah. So that one I'm loving. So I have done, oh, this is on the called for fabric, which is 32 count. Now, on all of these drawn threads, the recommended is 32 count. And the first two I did, I got as pre-packed. So the material was in there plus the threads, but the threads were based on 1/2. But I just did not think that coverage was enough. I don't think 1/2 on a 32 count is enough. Personally, a lot of other people think that's absolutely fine coverage and fair enough, but for me, I like a little bit more of a meaty coverage. But that meant that I did not have enough thread, because obviously the person who had done it had done it based on 1/2. So I had to buy all the threads anyway. Fair enough. But for this one, it was not pre-packaged. I just bought the pattern, but I've got all the threads. But I've used, again, the 32 count. This is natural. That's why I got natural. And I have basically started at the centre bottom. I don't know why, I just did. But that is what I have done. Maybe it's because I wanted to do the cat. But I've started on the alphabet. I've done that tree. So we're looking at, just for reference, so I started with that. I don't know if I can get it. I started with that Q, which is in the centre, and I've moved down here with the letters, and I've done the branching there and that cat there. So this does have speciality stitches as usual. So I tend to, with these drawn thread ones, I do the speciality stitches right at the very end, because I use Q-snaps, and there is barely enough room to get this in the Q-snap height-wise, just enough. Again, a happy accident, because I didn't even think when I was measuring out this material, and I cut it. So going forward now, I'll have to remember to always make sure it will fit in my, so I use this size Q-snap. So as you can see, it's a very, it's a tight fit. It just about gets in there without me having to sew on a panel. But thank God it fit, because I certainly didn't take it into consideration when I cut it. But what I will do is I will do all this normal stitching first of all, so that my Q-snaps don't knacker up the specialty stitches when I've got them closed. And then when I'm doing it, I'll start from one end, so I'll put my Q-snap on that end, and then I'll work my way down, but on the bits where it's already been done, I won't put the Q-snap on this side. And it keeps it tight enough with the Q-snaps here and on that side, but it means that the Q-snap never goes on specialty stitches. And that's what I did with the back stitching on Long Dog when I was doing that. And oh my God, that took forever. It was like nearly 2 days worth of doing nothing but back stitching on that Long Dog when I was finishing it, because there's so bloody much of it. But it's well worth it, because I can't believe, like, there's mistake galore in there. But now that, a couple of months have gone by since I've finished, I'm hard pressed to remember where they are, because that pattern is just stunning, and that silk as well. But anyway, we're not talking about Long Dog, we're talking about this. So yeah, so this is my latest drawn thread. I've got a couple of these drawn thread patterns as well, but I'm going to try to stick to maybe just one on the go, and maybe a Halloween one later on. Okay, so that I started on the 29th of December. And then my last actual one that I've started is a Quiltify Designs, and I just had it in my hand because I showed you the Q-snap. Where the hell did it come from? Oh, good gravy. Okay, bear with me, I am literally going insane. That is Sunnyside Sampler. What is that? Here we go. So that is evening. Oh, okay, so this is still in the Q-snap, and I've literally done hardly any because I had to frog out a ton of it. But this is the Kraken, which I am doing as a companion piece to Ink Circles Get Kraken. So I'm using the same colour thread for the Kraken as I did on Ink Circles, and I'm going to use the same colour thread that I did that were on the ships. So it's the Kraken was done using Gloriana Dried Pink Rose. There we go, it's a bit darker than it's showing on there actually. And the ship is going to be using this blue that I had left over, so I've just bought a little bit more. This is Pacific Dark Blue. Oh, it's a lovely blue. And the people, I either will use the blue or I will use what I've got left of this Ola Liberry. No idea, but it's a Gloriana one. There you go. So I have literally this. Oh, this is using 32 count vintage. No, I don't think this is the vintage grey. I think this isn't a Spygart. I think this is a grey witch alt, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that is the bottom of the Kraken. Now, the reason why there's barely any is because I did initially start this side, but I forgot that even doing one leg at a time, the variegation does show. So it was just looking really bad with the variegation going up and down. So I'm now going from side to side and it's much better, which is how I did it on that one. But I forgot and just automatically did my usual way, which is start from the top down, top, you know. So yeah, it just looked odd. So thankfully I'd only done a couple of rows, so I took that out. So that is my last new start of the year. Okay, so those are all my WIPs. So what I'm going to quickly do now, what are we at? Oh my god, okay, so this is a long one. So I'm going to try and do my plans as quickly as possible. So, WIP Go. I have all of the ones that are on, for my current WIPs that are on WIP Go, I have told you about. Sunnyside Sampler is on there. That one is not. Plum Street is on there, but that's any Plum Street. And the reason I've said any Plum Street is that people who maybe have watched some of my other videos will know that I had wanted to purchase a Plum Street one called Toil and Trouble, which I'll insert a picture of here. Well, Patchwork Rabbit here in the UK finally got it, so I have purchased it and I have got the threads for it. So as soon as that arrives, I am going to start that because I love that pattern. And that Toil and Trouble is actually its own thing on my WIP Go, but I am actually going to start it when it comes in. The other one I'm going to start is, let me get back onto my list, is this one. So this is on my WIP Go board. I may not start, depending on how I'm feeling, I may not start it until my number comes up on the WIP Go for it, but it's because I'm actually waiting for some threads to come from 123 Stitch, which should hopefully be here in the next couple of weeks. I think it's in the air at the moment, travelling over the Atlantic, but it's Hollandse Herklap, or Merklap, sorry. Yeah, I know that's not, but it's Jeanette Douglas and it is stunning. So I have the bulk of the threads for that. I have the called for fabric, so this is a 32 count, which I am going to be doing 2/2, and there are a number of speciality threads on here, so this is really a bit reminiscent of the drawn thread, and I just love this Dutch lettering here. Love it. So this is going to be another new start, and as I said, this is on my WIP Go board. And then I have right, so WIP Go numbers were pulled, and the two that Jess Marie pulled were 2 and 19. Now 2 is Flutter, so that's my Haid, so I'm going to be working on that in January, and then I'll put that to one side. But the other one that was done was number 19, and number 19 is one of my other new starts, and that's Pointed Fifth. Now this is the long dock I had actually planned on starting before You Belong to Me came into being. So I had bought the material, I had bought the thread for it. So now I have to find the damn thing. It's just like an avalanche of things all around me. I think it's, yeah, it's here. So Pointed Fifth is, I'm not going to say the fancy name for it, but it's that one. Glorious. So I have a 32 count. I think this is Amazing Grace by Witchell, and I'm going to use Silks for You PR158, which is this beautiful purple. I'm going to be, it's not really very variegated, so I'm not going to do individual X's. It's going to be my normal style of stitching, and I'll be doing a loop start on it. So yep, lovely. So this is Teresa Little Stitcher did a tutorial on how to do these threads from hanks. So I basically followed that, and I've done the plait, so you can literally pull out one individual strand at a time and it comes out easily. So yeah, so that is my other January start. So I'm WIP Go to do at least 5 sessions or 5 days on this one. So that is that, and then I have one other that I would like to start at some point, but I'm humming and hawing over this. It's the same, it's in the same category as Ruby by Carolyn Manning. It's because it is actually another Carolyn Manning. It's Crazy Cat Woman. I mean, how could I not do it based on that name? Give me 1 second. Toil and Trouble I've put on. It's this. Did I print it off? No, I didn't. Let me show you a picture of it. There is Crazy Cat. Ooh, Crazy Cat Lady. There we go. So it's DMC, it's just it's going to be on a 14 count white Ada. I may or may not start that at some point in the next couple of months, or I may just wait until later on in the year. I don't know yet, but that is one that's fully kitted up and ready to go. The last one, and this one also appears, so that one does not appear as such on my WIP Go board. The WIP Go board, just one of the things is any Carolyn Manning. But the last thing that does appear on my board is a new start. This was my Christmas present kind of from my parents and myself. They gave me money towards getting a pattern. So this is a Gecko Rouge. It's from Jesslyn Park, and it's called Winds of Change. So I'll just insert that picture in here. So it's going to be a full pack from Gecko Rouge, and yeah, so when that, as to whether or not I'll start it before it appears on my WIP Go, I don't know, but it will certainly be started whenever the number gets pulled on my WIP Go board. Okay, so I had actually said to someone that I would do a quick thing about how I organise my threads, but I think this has now gone on far too long. It is just literally, so I will do the potted version. I think I have already covered this before, but just quickly to say that I do it on Google Drive. I have a number of sheets on here, so they're like, it's just like columns like that, so it'll be the type of thread, the thread number, the number of each one I've got, so if I've got 4 of a certain colour, and which patterns that number is currently in, and that enables me to track what I have or haven't got. And then I have all my WIPs that are listed on here, the dates they started and all of that good information. I've got all of my stash patterns listed by in order of designer and then in pattern. And then I've got a list of all the fabric I've got. So it's all listed on here. I'll do a proper tour of it at some point, but that is it basically, and it's on a Google Sheet, so I can access it on my laptop, on my phone, or on my iPad. Very quickly, for the next 3 months I have a little challenge for myself. It's going to be a no purchase challenge. Other than my thread club or any threads I need for my existing patterns, I am not going to purchase anything else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down on a list on my my Google Sheet, and then at the end of the 3 months I'm going to link this into another challenge I've got, which is a challenge about getting healthier. And basically I want to lose at least a stone in the next 3 months. Now I know that you're probably thinking, well, that's a bit of a low challenge, but I figured if I put it at that, I don't feel like, you know, any, real undue pressure, because at the moment I'm struggling with not being able to go to the gym because I can't do a lot of stuff because of my arm, which I would traditionally do. I can't use a bike because of my stupid bloody coccyx, and I can't jog. So basically I'm stuck walking, and I'm not paying for a gym membership just to walk when I can just do it on the street. So I'm hoping that my arm will get better in the next 3 to 6 months, in which case I can go to gym and start using the cross trainer and things like that. I just can't do that at the moment. So what I thought I'd do is I'd tie it all in and say, for this year I would like to lose a bare minimum of 4 stones. So that's a stone each 3 months, each quarter. And at the end of the 3 months, if I've lost the weight, then I can have a look at my list of things I've said I've wanted to buy, and if I still want them, I can get them. But if I've not, I have to roll it over to the next month, to the next quarter. So it's kind of like a little added incentive. And also because I've got a shit ton of bloody kitted things that I need to start doing. Toil and Trouble and that Gecko Rouge ones were the last of what I'm going to now buy. That's it, done. So at the end of my normal Flosstubes, what I will do is start showing you things that I've already got, kitted stuff I've got, and patterns that I've got, and then we can have fun deciding if I'm doing any new starts, what I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to end it there, because this is so much longer than I thought it was going to be. I am so sorry. I don't know if I'm going to split this or I'm going to do it all as one. Yeah. But I love you all. If by some miracle you're still here, well done. If you've been stitching, at least you'll have done quite a bit of stitching. But I hope you've enjoyed that. As I said, if you've not already subscribed and you feel like it, please do subscribe. Please leave a comment if you need any information about any of the patterns I've discussed. Just leave me a comment and let me know. Or if you have any questions about anything else, again, just leave a comment, let me know. I try to get back as soon as possible. I really appreciate everybody who watches or leaves a comment. And yeah, I just really hope you have a lovely new year, that you're all keeping safe and well and doing everything you can to stay safe and well, and that all your family are doing well as well. So I've just said well far too many times then, so let's end this because I'm rambling, I'm starving, and my stomach is going to start making very loud and obnoxious noises any second now. So I will leave it there. I love you loads, and I will hopefully see you in a couple of weeks. Happy stitching.